Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports, and another Daredevil Born Again recap edition of My Mom's Basement. I am very excited to recap Daredevil Born Again episode 4 with my co-host Clem today. Welcome to the Pup Punk Studio. Bit of a new look, trying some new things. Clem, how we doing?
Looking good there, Bob. Looking good. Your own little Barstool basement in the second floor. But
and it is messy. You could see if you're watching on YouTube. I know I got to straighten up the basement. The basement gets messy sometimes.
Basement's one of those rooms that when it's messy, it feels right. When it's clean, it feels right. It just works. It's just,
yeah.
So you're good, Bob. You're amongst friends and family here.
All right, thank you. Quick basement keeping before we get into the episode. We've got some news to talk about as well. It won't just be Daredevil today. Marvel Rival streams from this very room every Tuesday at 4. I'm also doing WWE 2K25 streams every Wednesday at 4. So I'm becoming a straight-up streamer. I said forever it would happen, and we were like joking about it. It happened, Clem, and I'm kind of doing it. Now, am I Kai Cenat? My speed with the viewers? No, but we're getting there. You got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. The fact that this actually came to fruition, it became like a running joke. It was like New Year. I think that was your resolution from like 2021 on.
10 years in a row.
And yeah, here we are. The world is no longer in lockdown, but Bob is now going to lock himself in the basement and stream. So, hey, better late than never, right? And you're getting better at everything too. You're getting better at
I appreciate that. I'm starting to get better at Rivals. WWE, I'm starting to get better at as well. I'm starting to get better at being able to look down at the chat and then look back up at the television. It's just, you got to get in the groove of things. It's like riding a bike, even with just playing video games for me. I'm not that good at video games, despite me looking like I would be pretty good at video games.
That's a good way to put it. You're getting better at streaming, which is, monitoring the chat as you play. That's a very important side of it as well. Barstool's becoming a streaming company in general at this point, I feel.
It is. We've got Clemmer streams, Vib streams. We're doing it across the board from New York now. Shout out Nick Hammy helping everyone out on the production end.
If only we thought like 10 years ago when we all went to New York, like, hey, let's get into this YouTube thing. This is a big deal. It's too bad like the higher ups didn't completely kill everything because they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Yeah, we needed everything on the owned and operated channels. It was like YouTube, Schmootube. We don't need them. Yeah, everything was on Facebook Live back then. It was just like Facebook Live is the future. I don't even know if Facebook Live is still a thing. I'm sure it is. I'm sure they have the capability to go live, but you don't hear that.
To be clear, I am not talking about Dave, by the way. Dave would have done whatever.
It was not Dave. Yeah,
Dave would have done whatever the other people told me. Other people told him Facebook Live. Now that is the future right there.
Well, it was because they did the thing that like you scroll past it and you get 10 viewers. So it'd be like, we're live on Facebook for My Mom's Basement. We have 40,000 concurrents. And it's like, yeah, those numbers might have been fudged.
My favorite thing was when we used to just add like a comma to the viewers.
Yes.
Just you can say whatever you want.
Throw an extra zero. Yeah. Another stream I want to give everyone the big heads up about is the May 4th 24-hour stream. 12 p.m. on May 4th, we're going live. We will be live until 12 p.m. on the Revenge of the 5th. And I want to give everyone the big heads up because we've been doing the meetings about it. We want to make it into something big. We want to make it into something special. A couple panels. We'll get Clem involved. We'll get Jeff D. Lowe involved. We'll get Ken Jack involved. We're going to have little skits. We're going to have little moments from interviews that I've done in the past, like when I talked to Topher Grace about his cut of the prequels into one movie. Like we'll have little interludes and stuff like that. It's going to be fun. I want to make sure everyone don't make plans for Sunday, May 4th, because we'll be in the basement.
If you're a May the 4th Star Wars fan, I'm sure your plans involve May the 4th Star Wars stuff. So Bob Fox is your outlet for that, the whole day or in between your viewings of the movies. I'm sure you're going to be just fine. And Bob Fox has all you covered. I love you through panels in there too. Like it's an actual fucking celebration or
that's how we're going to call it. We're going to schedule it like it's Star Wars Celebration, but in the basement, because Star Wars Celebration is in Japan this year and it's the weekend of WrestleMania. So it's a tough, like, I can't make it out there and sacrifice WrestleMania for that. I would sacrifice pretty much anything else for it. But WrestleMania, I've been going strong. Haven't missed one since WrestleMania 19.
Aussie Dave, is he still DJing Celebration? Maybe we get him in the DJ
I don't know.
set?
He might be, yeah. And then we hosted another rundown this week. I like giving everyone the heads up now that we have like almost a bonus episode as the rundown. This week was with Eddie. Very fun. We got into like horror movies and stuff with Eddie.
It became the horror movie episode, which I kind of appreciate because I think that's right up Eddie's alley for sure, and yours a little bit as well. And I don't know any of the horror references other than Michael Myers because I'm a scaredy cat. So, the Good Mood Crew. Basically, once a week, you're getting me, Bob, and then a rotation of usually Jeff D'Lo, Large, Eddie. I feel like those are usually our crews, which I think is, again, a good vibes kind of crew, and we get a little nerdy with it sometimes.
Absolutely. All right. Before we get into the nerdy news of the week, let's tell everyone about Game Time, one of our favorite sponsors. They don't make it easy to buy concert tickets these days. You got to sign up for the pre-sale. You got to get in a queue. By the time you get through, the best seats are gone. Trust me, I know all of that too well. Going to a concert should be about the show itself, not waiting in a virtual line. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, and Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down as it gets closer to showtime, which is great. You could wait till last minute. Boom, buy your tickets for cheap, get in. It's so easy to get into. The tickets will be right to your phone transferred and everything like that. Game Time Picks makes it even easier to find the great deals in the seats you want. If you just pull up your chosen event, turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of your screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on the Game Time app homepage. I actually just used Game Time last week. On Thursday, I went to see Ace Frehley, the original guitar player of Kiss, which was just, it was right up my alley, and it completely made my night. I took Lady Fox. We had a great view. It was a small, intimate venue, but Game Time hooked it up. Great prices. I actually bought, like on eBay, I went and saw that the set list from the show. Someone got the set list from the stage, and Ace signed it, and then they threw it right on eBay. And I said, no, that's mine now. So I bought that. That's how much I love the show. Thanks to Game Time.
I already have so this is my favorite time of year is when we start getting the summer schedule for concerts. Like they're still slowly coming out. And Bob, guess what? I mean, this hits for me and my boy Ed, my rundown compatriot.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Offspring got themselves a little bit of a North American tour, and there is a concert at the Bethel Woods venue, which is where the original Woodstock was. And I've heard that the shows are great there, so I'm going to be going on Game Time and watching the Offspring live if there is a guy. I believe it's like August 2nd, I want to say, and I am jazzed about it.
And the tour's insane. It's the Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, and Newfound Glory.
Yes. Yes.
What a bill that is. Go on Game Time. You got to get the tickets for that tour. And you could take the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Create an account. Use code MMB. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account. Code MMB for My Mom's Basement. $20 off. You could get those Offspring tickets right now.
Woo, I might do that right now, right as soon as we wrap.
Awesome. All right, let's get into some nerdy news of the week. No Daredevil set visit for me this week. I can't update anyone on the happenings of Daredevil season 2, but they are filming actively around the city. Charlie Cox was filming a scene the other night, signing autographs for fans. It was Tuesday night, and he was actually joking with him. He's like, why are you here watching me? Go home and watch Daredevil. Like, there's these great videos from the set, so I missed out on them, but I'm not giving up yet. I think next week they're filming a little more in Manhattan, or maybe a little more in Astoria, Queens. I might bring that comic book back up and get it signed by him.
Oh, they're going to Astoria. Those are my old stomping grounds right there, Bob Fox.
Yep.
Maybe
he signs everything. I didn't realize he does the DD. He does the fucking logo. Oh shit, he's got a good autograph.
How did they just fucking put this guy on ice for all these years as
it's
the MCU's
insane.
Dying? It's crazy.
It's insane. Crazy. After watching this episode that they had him on ice. Oh my God.
And like how many like actors and directors and writers are like, I don't really care about Marvel, but I just wanted to try a project for myself. And you have dudes who are literally siding with their characters like logo. What is going on? Feige, the trust, he's back at least, so I won't say anything else. But like I don't want to, I want to know what happened in that 5 year. Maybe Feige got blipped. Did we think about that?
Oh, Feige got blipped. That's a good what if. Oh, we could write that comic. That would be fun to write. Super fourth wall breaking. Like we could have Deadpool obviously talking about it. That would be good.
This is not a what if, Bob. This is a conspiracy theory. 5 years ago, Feige got blipped, and then there was like it's like the movie Dave, which is constantly referenced for such a niche movie about where they had a guy who looks like the president to act like the president. They found a Feige lookalike, or they had a animatronic made in Disneyland just to kind of put the presenting like shit out to make it look like Feige was still in charge of a $1 billion studio. And then we finally got the real Feige back. He got unblipped, and now shit's making sense again. Like
Is
Matt
it like,
Murdock being
did the
Daredevil.
Russo brothers do that as well? Because when they came back, maybe Feige's, starting to come back around. He left around the time that they left. I don't know.
Have you thought about maybe like they actually had the real time stones and Thanos actually did snap them away? Like there is a non-zero chance that happened.
Maybe it's like to snap. It takes so much out of you. We saw the Hulk fried his whole arm up. To make a movie as good as Infinity War or as good as Endgame or as good as both of them, maybe it took that much out of Feige. Maybe he fucking snapped his arm off. You know what I mean?
And you know who's gonna look like a big old fat idiot when it's all said and done? Trent. When he's like,
oh I know. Oh, definitely keep making Marvel movies. We definitely keep wanting them. Yeah, fucking Doomsday and Secret Wars are gonna make $1 billion in the snap of a finger. You're gonna be still hitting balls into the water. All right, Trent.
Maybe Trent gets snapped away. That would be a real shame.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. I took a suggestion from our listeners this week. I watched A Few Good Men. When I put out the call for courtroom dramas inspired by Daredevil, that was the number one I got recommended left and right. Twitter, Instagram, every DM I could get was like, just making sure you've seen A Few Good Men, right? And the answer was no. And I almost felt like embarrassed by that. It's one of those that I know is a classic, but I didn't realize how much of a classic it was. In that, like, the final scene starts happening. Spoilers for A Few Good Men, if anyone hasn't seen it like me. It's the movie that You Can't Handle the Truth comes from. And I didn't know that. So when that's coming up and I'm like putting it together, It felt like I was like, oh shit, he's going to say it. And he said it. I went wild. Amazing movie. Amazing recommendation from the listeners. I mean, I'm not breaking any news here. I think it's like known as one of the greatest movies of all time, but it was so good.
I mean, did that like clean up at the Oscars? I looked it up.
No? It went 0 for 4, Clem.
Oh,
they didn't win a single Oscar.
So best supporting actor for Nicholson, best
it
picture,
was Unforgiven year, which is tough. Unforgiven beat it in a lot of things. So Jack was nominated and Gene Hackman beat him. And then Unforgiven beat it for Best Picture. I think it was nominated for maybe Best Editing and maybe something else.
Gotcha.
But Rob Reiner directed, Aaron Sorkin script. Holy shit, it was great.
And I do I saw it years ago. I definitely have to do a rewatch of it all, and it'll hit a lot more because it was like, I don't want to say a cultural phenomenon, but like You Can't Handle the Truth was like the punchline to countless jokes and, late night shows and shit like that. And it was a big deal. So I do remember living through all that. And the movie was obviously awesome as well. So shout out to the listeners. I got a lot of good like legal dramas sent to me. And as we'll get into Daredevil in a little bit, like this kind of just did tickle that itch again. Like I am definitely a fan of legal proceedings. Fictional.
The real life shit, so boring.
Couldn't pay me. Actually, the greatest legal proceeding or the greatest legal, I don't know if you can say drama. Did you in Cable Guy when Ben Stiller acts like the Menendez brothers?
I have never seen the full Cable Guy movie, but I have seen courtroom clips from Cable Guy for sure. I know that's like a famous thing.
And it's like a running movie inside a movie because they keep showing different clips of it, and they're watching it, and it's just so goddamn funny, man. So I'm not even gonna say. I was gonna throw some lines at you. It's gonna go nowhere because you've never seen the movie. I won't even say though that this is like you have to see the Cable Guy. Fun cult classic movie. It's not Road Trip in my mind though.
Yeah, I actually, speaking of cult classic movies, I rewatched because the actor that plays Uncle Rico is in The White Lotus this season. I rewatched Napoleon Dynamite for maybe the first time since like it came out. I remember I owned it on DVD. I watched it in 2004 when I was 6, and it kind of went over my head. I thought maybe the Liger was funny. That is one of the dumbest movies ever made. And I loved it.
In the best way possible. Yes.
It made me laugh the entire time. But I also was like, I can't believe that like MTV Films like gave them the money to make this movie after seeing the script, because it's just like one scene after another, like doesn't like have a good like clear narrative. It's just like stupid shit happening the entire time. And I laughed the entire time. Another, like, I'm not recommending Napoleon Dynamite to anyone here, but I was just
whoa. We are recommending Napoleon.
No. I mean,
Everyone
I'm not
here.
like breaking any news.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
recommending it, of course. But
Okay.
people are like, yeah, no shit, Napoleon Dynamite's great, Robbie.
It was one of those movies that, like, I got in a little. I saw the Vote for Pedro shirts, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this
He's
thing's
so
like a
funny in it.
movement. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I saw it in the theater. I think we rented it on fucking like DVD or something. From
Hollywood
Blockbuster
Video,
back then.
Blockbuster, yeah.
And I like instantly we're Tina, you're saying quesadilla, and I still say quesadilla to this day. So there are some things in that movie that have survived years later. And shout out to that guy, whoever played Napoleon Dynamite. I forgot who he is, but he had like a moment where he was in a couple movies. And you're like, dude, get as many checks as you can right now, because I don't know if you have the chops to be like a long-term actor.
The guy that plays Uncle Rico plays like a pretty serious, almost dangerous character in The White Lotus, like a con artist type guy. So seeing him for now years, he's been in a couple seasons as kind of like this conniving, serious character. And then watching him as Uncle Rico fucking throwing the football and making videos of himself, it was hysterical. I have some breaking news on the podcast, some fun breaking news. I have made it through the first round of casting to be an extra in this Spielberg movie that I applied for. I put out the call. They needed a person with a car, and they're filming it in New Jersey. So I said, fuck it. I'll send in an email. It's a Spielberg movie. Why not? I also had Ken Jack send in one for himself, and we both did it like the same hour. Unfortunately, Ken Jack did not get an email back. I did, and they're asking me for my shoe size, my pants size, my inseam size, and they're like, you're not guaranteed to get a call, but possibly the day before shooting. So it would be a week from today is when the shoot happens. I'll know on Wednesday if they need me to play customer with car in the new Spielberg.
Oh, good thing you got your car redone recently, Bob.
Exactly. I got everything fixed up, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God. But I'm also like, what if they needed a fucking real bad car? What if they needed a car with a broken windshield and I got mine fixed, too soon?
Bob, what would Han Solo do? He'd take out a bat and smash that fucking windshield. You got to do it. It's Spielberg, dude. If it wasn't Spielberg, I'd say let it fly. You got to crack your own windshield if you get the call.
And I sent in pictures of my car. It's funny, like my car had to be cast as well. So maybe they just didn't like Ken Jack's car or something.
That's it. Was it too fancy?
I don't know. We both have Toyotas. I have like an old Toyota Corolla. He had like an Avalon, or I don't even know if that's a Toyota. He had something else.
I got a Toyota Sienna. Toyota Crew, stand the fuck up. Sponsor the show.
And I've got the Baby Yoda sticker on the back, so it's like Toyota. I've even got the Twisters fucking magnet still on the side. I was like, I wonder if that'll give me any, brownie points with Spielberg. He produced Twisters and all that.
You would have the Toyota on the back of it. God bless you.
I'll update everyone next week on that. Good news. Invincible returns for season 4 in 2026. Voice acting is already complete. They're just animating it. So they're getting on it. They said their ambition is 1 a year, and seems like that's becoming a promise.
So now we wait and see to see if they're going to maybe improve on that animation. Obviously, if they're going to get it done in a year, going to be tough to probably improve if they're keeping it the same timeline. But I know that's the one thing that you and a bunch of other fans have consistently and I think it's a fair critique, don't get me wrong. So I'm hoping there's maybe a little upgrade, but I am so happy the way 3 not even ended. The way 3 was from almost the start.
Oh, yeah.
I think we were starting to go down The Boys, where The Boys is right now. And I think The Boys is going to end just fine. But The Boys lost me there for a little while, and Invincible was starting to lose me as well. I'm pretty fucking jacked up for, season 4 might get, I don't even know, it's just going to get crazier. I feel like any episode could just be like a full-blown episode-long fight with the world. At some point, we're just going to run out of civilians to die. That's essentially
I know that.
That's my biggest concern.
Them out right now. Yeah, it's season 4 of the year that Bryan Cranston finally accepts a role. Fingers crossed, right? I mean, they're involving like some other Breaking Bad characters: Aaron Paul, Mike Ehrmantraut. Maybe season 4.
You and your pride.
The Mandalorian and Grogu has a $166 million budget, making it the cheapest Disney era movie and the cheapest Star Wars since Revenge of the Sith. Now, it got community noted. This went out, and the community note says this $166 million comes from qualified expenditures, reflecting only below-the-line wages and spending. The true budget is unknown. And you got to figure the budget of this is going to go crazy with marketing. You know, Baby Yoda is going to be on the top of every cab and billboard and whatnot. But I texted this to you, and the takeaway that a lot of people online are having is that, of course, it's the lowest budget. The co-star, Grogu, does not have to get paid. He's a CGI baby. So it's the first one with like one big cast member you have to pay. It's Pedro. And I'm sure they're going to cast, you know, Sigourney's in it, and they're going to cast other characters and figures that pop up, and we're going to be like, oh shit. But as far as leads go, it's Pedro, and he's probably doing voice acting for the majority of it. You know, it's probably someone else in the suit, a stunt suit. So they've kind of like built themselves into this perfect realm where they could just put a stunt guy in a Mandalorian suit and animate a baby next to him. And as long as the voice sounds like Pedro, you could kind of keep this going for life.
It's kind of like the no-name movie right now. Because listen, Pedro, I don't think literally has time to even put that suit on. He's going to be in 7 other massive franchises from now until that movie comes out, probably. So it makes perfect sense. That was a great call with Baby Yoda basically being free, right?
Someone's tweet was like, damn, if Baby Yoda had a better agent, this budget would be higher.
The person who community noted that, I gotta say, it has to be one of the 3, and I say this in the nicest way possible, one of the 3 biggest losers on the planet.
I thought you were going in a much different direction. I thought you were going to say is one of the 3 guys that host Lights Camera Barstool.
That too, maybe. I don't know.
They know about this shit, you know. Clemmer tells me all the time he listens to box office podcasts. He's like locked in. He's really fascinated by box office performance and stuff. So like I could see Clemmer community noting this.
I'm saying, like, the guy who community noted that, like, he might even be too big of a loser to be on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, like, you're at least a fun nerd.
Yes.
If you're talking about, like, budget expenditures, you're a math nerd.
Math nerd, exactly. And those are the worst kind of nerds, let's be honest.
Probably math nerds.
No disrespect. I hate math, so it's like I'm coming from
so do I.
anger. It's nothing personal. I'm a history nerd. I'm just not a math nerd.
Same. We're on the same playing field there. This is weird news, kind of news that we discussed in a different way before when we talked about Robert Pattinson possibly having a role in the MCU. We said, on what level can you not play 2 comic book characters actively? Colin Farrell is now in talks to star in the DCU's Sergeant Rock movie. This went from Daniel Craig to Jeremy Allen White to Josh Brolin. Now we're talking to Colin Farrell. I don't know why it's being turned down or whatever. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino. He did Challengers. He did, I think, Call Me By Your Name. He did Queer. He did a bunch of these great movies that are like Oscar nominated, very acclaimed. It's an interesting movie. As we've discussed, we don't know anything about Sergeant Rock, so we're surprised that they're going with a character like this right away in phase 1 or phase 2 of the DCU. How do we feel about Colin Farrell potentially starring? Is the makeup enough to shield the Penguin from his performance here?
No, but the outlandish accent, I think, is enough. Ahoy me, kid. Right? Yeah. As long as Sergeant Rock might talk like
he's an American though, so he's gonna do an American accent anyway. It's just gonna be he's gonna do a Southern accent, maybe.
It has like Sergeant Rock seems like he could be from Brooklyn though, which would have some
See if
overlap.
I could find out where he's from real quick.
Penguin. It's like, but this again, I think it can work. It's just why. There's 8 bazillion actors that would be happy to take a paycheck to do the voice. Why do we have to do Colin Farrell of all people twice? When, I mean, he's probably the leader in the clubhouse right now in terms of DCU Q rating. I'd say it's him 1.
Honestly, John Cena's pretty high.
John Cena's high, obviously. Pattinson, our girl Christina Milioti. I mean,
and I didn't even have it on the news, but did you see who Milioti was hanging out with?
No.
Chicks in the Office puts out a picture. They're like, hey, it's Zoe Kravitz hanging out with, I don't even remember the guy's name. Famous guy, for sure, famous guy. And it was like, oh, maybe they're going on a date together. In the background, Milioti's there with Michael Gandolfini.
Oh,
so I'm like,
wow.
Date where we've got Kristen Milioti dating the son of James Gandolfini. Is she just full blown going into the mob lifestyle now?
Mikey G, all right. I see you.
I don't know if it was a date or not, but it was like the 4 of them in the pictures. And Chicks in the Office was talking about Zoe Kravitz and this other guy, like maybe they're a couple. Was that a fucking dream mob double date? Imagine like that. It's like they could make the perfect mob baby.
The perfect pup. I'll be honest with you. I'm rooting for Mikey because it sounded like his dad was an awesome dude. Obviously, he's no longer with us, which really sucks. So I'd love for Mikey just to be tearing it up in the real world, in the dating scene. I thought you were going to say Zoe was with Christina, and I said, giddy up on that.
Well, I mean, they were. Maybe it was a double date in the other way.
Maybe.
Gandolfini was the guy that
Bob, put that as the YouTube title. Throw some thumbnails on there, and let's go viral right now by reporting outlandish news that is not true.
And the only other thing, it's not a real news item, I guess. It's just something I thought we should highlight here before we get into Daredevil Born Again episode 4. It was yesterday, but happy 70th birthday to one of the greatest action heroes and actors of all time, in the basement at least, Bruce Willis. Clem, the floor is yours for your action hero.
My guy, it's not even showing. It shows in different, depends on what
I know,
we're
you've got
using
the
to
Die Hard
record. There we got
back
the Die
there,
Hard poster. I mean, he's the greatest action star in the greatest action movie. Not much more needs to be said other than his goddamn name is Bruce Willis. I mean, just how cool is
He's
that?
the man. He had that cool quote. Well, it wasn't like a quote. It was
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson talking about what Bruce Willis told him. But he said he pulled Samuel L. Jackson aside one day and was like, you need a character that you could just go back to constantly, almost a safety net character. He's like, I've got John McClane. Stallone's got Rocky or Rambo. You know, everyone's got their own character. And Samuel Jackson was like, yeah, it hit me when I signed a 9-figure deal to play Nick Fury, that I now have a safety net. It's like, yeah, that is fitting. It's crazy. Samuel Jackson, one of the most iconic actors of all time. Is Nick Fury his most iconic role at this point?
I personally think it's still Jules from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, you're right. It is Jules from Pulp Fiction.
And I heard a story recently, and I probably have the details a little off, but I don't know if you've ever heard this, that I believe Lawrence Fishburne was going for that role. And it was between him and Sam Jackson. And I don't know if Fishburne didn't want it or if Sam Jackson just crushed it. I don't want to have the specifics, but I believe someone told Sam Jackson, again, whoever, if I'm going to get community noted by that nerd, if he happens to be a listener to my fucking hell for this, but it was something like he wanted to then, be able to become like an A-lister and, be in massive action movies. And because Sam Jackson was in Pulp Fiction, he got the role in Die Hard with a Vengeance, and those two things obviously turned him from, that guy, the guy from Goodfellas and the guy from this, and I mean, kind of in Jurassic Park too, he's not.
Yeah,
really,
he's just the hold on to your butts guy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's Sam M. motherfucking Jackson snakes on a plane. So the fact that it goes from there and now Nick Fury, and I believe it was like Lawrence Fishburne could have had that, and then it's one of those closing doors moments. It's like, what would have happened if Lawrence Fishburne was Jules? Yeah. And I can't imagine anyone else is Jules in that movie. That's
no, and you're right. That definitely is I feel like if you've seen Pulp Fiction, that is his most iconic role. The only reason I brought up the Nick Fury thing is because of the box office of those movies and the records they hold. Definitely. If you were to pull the entire planet and show him a picture of Samuel Jackson, say, name one of his roles, Nick Fury might be, even though it's not his most iconic, it might be his most popular.
How about this for a take? I don't even acknowledge him as Nick Fury anymore.
Because of Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Again, it's become the running joke where I don't want to trash Secret Invasion, and somehow Secret Invasion
we're going to talk about it this week anyway, yeah.
It is so bad.
He was pretty good in it, though. I mean, he gave good performances opposite Ben Mendelsohn, and even the wife stuff was good, even though it was clear it was never going to fucking... All right, we're not going to go down the rabbit hole.
It's all right. Let's just talk Dark Knight too. Let's just check off all our boxes.
Everyone check the bingo on your fucking bingo boards. Let's tell everyone about DraftKings before we get into Daredevil Born Again episode 4. When it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure, nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. I just placed a couple bets. I asked Tommy who he was taking in the first game. He said, I'm taking Louisville. I took the opposite side.
Yeah, Bob.
I'm fading Tommy Smokes on this one. If it's your first time, we've got something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BASEMENT. That's code BASEMENT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. I'm excited to watch college basketball in the office. It's something where I'm not even a college basketball fan, obviously, but once March Madness comes around, it's almost like the Royal Rumble, where it's like it draws casual fans in and they could get excited about it as well.
I said the other day, like, if you're just like a casual, that you're like, it's just the first 4 games, really nothing crazy. But then you see those buzzer beaters and just the chaos that goes on, and then you want to sprinkle a little thing on DraftKings. It kind of gives you
Brackets
something
are
to root
fun,
for.
you know. You could do a lot with March Madness. Ooh.
Yeah, I was thinking about diving into a little. I saw Hank was tweeting about a first to 10 where you could pick which team will be the first to score 10 points, and that's just a quick way to get it's the appetizer.
Remember Eddie, to watch the whole game?
Yeah. Remember Eddie was saying it's like the first 4 is like the breadsticks for the meal, and I said it was almost like the water. Like that is like the appetizer for a game, though. It's like let's just get some wings and get it. And that's my other thing too. I love I load up with some wings every March Madness. I've associated that with the tournament, so I'm gonna get. I might
do that tonight too.
Get some wings, Bob. We'll sit back, relax, and you. Hopefully, we're both winning a lot of money through our friends at Experian here. Hashtag Experian Busters. Can't fire us now, Dave.
That's right. Let's tell everyone else about another sponsor. Factor. If you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating easy well. Eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to eat and eat in just 2 minutes, so you can feel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. They're throwing rhymes at me in this ad read, and it's throwing me off because Factor's one step ahead of the game and one step ahead of my game. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared with the perfect meals for any active, busy lifestyle. You could lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals. Based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto, results will vary depending on diet and exercise, but that's awesome. Hell, I'm throwing the wings idea out the window. Yeah. I've got Factor in my fridge. I'm eating Factor tonight. I absolutely love their jalapeno cheesy chicken. Oh my God, it's so good. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. It's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring the show.
I'll give you a hot take. Factor was the breakout star of the Surviving Barstool 2 years ago, because it was one of those things where it's like
people still talk about that. They talk about the Factor love from that season more than they talk about that season.
It's great, man, and that was a great.
It took everyone in the office by surprise. Like if Factor wasn't a podcast sponsor for them, maybe they didn't have it before. Everyone got together and ate these meals together like they were like catering, basically, and it was better than catering.
And that's one of those things that, like, sometimes with this job, you're like, my life, I would have never had this in my life if I didn't work for Barstool. And it's like, oh, now I know about Factor.
All right, now let's tell the people about Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. This was a great episode, I thought. I was captivated by the entire thing. I was upset when it ended because I just wanted more. I'm happy that next week is the double up week. We're getting 2 episodes next week.
There it is. Nice.
So as soon as this ended and I was a little upset, I was like, all right, at least next week we're getting back-to-back episodes. What were your general thoughts on episode 4?
So episode 4, which it was 2 the first week, right? And then 3 and then 4. So this is like episode 4. It's like, all right, we've gotten the new show launch and we've kind of steadied out. We're now in cruising altitude for a television show, right? As if we're on a plane. And this is the thing that I thought was very cool. And I was going to tweet it out. I honestly just forgot to do it because I don't go on Twitter much anymore. It's just nice to have an MC show that I just look forward to. It's like, oh yeah, Daredevil's tonight. Sweet. That's going to be nice. I can't wait to watch it.
I wanted to watch it right at 9 too. Like I was preparing. I could have like done more things. And I was even on FaceTime with Lady Fox. And I was like, all right, I'm sorry. I got to hang up because it's 8:59. Oh. I'm watching this the minute it comes out.
Hang up on your fiance level.
I mean, we had talked for a while, you know, we had the full phone call and she was like, you want to do Wordle on the FaceTime? And I was like, we can't. It's Daredevil night.
You just hung up on that sweet young lady.
I'm sure many people have been hung up on for Matt Murdock in the past.
That's
This
true.
guy's a hound. He's flirting with people. He's got a girl and he's flirting with other lawyers. I'm like, this guy can't keep himself down. He's crazy.
You got to be worried if she hangs up on you to watch Daredevil.
Yeah,
That
well,
means
honestly, she's
Murdoch.
probably doing the same thing. She's probably like, thank God I could hang up on this loser. Let me see Matt Murdock.
She's like, what can I do to get this idiot off the phone? Oh, let me just ask about Wordle. I know he's just going to hang up. So very, very excited to have it on. Obviously, another good episode. So, we said it before the season. We're like, I'm wondering how that little double dip mid-season is going to play out. And it's kind of doing the perfect job, I imagine. And I wonder if it's 2 weaker episodes and putting them together is going to, or, not even weaker, but there's more of a story and they don't want to have it where, because I feel like we've adjusted. Again, maybe it's just Kevin Feige got unblipped. That could be that simple, but it's all coming together now. It's all starting to make sense again.
Next week maybe could be the Punisher Daredevil team up. Now, one thing that I will say I didn't appreciate was putting the Punisher right in the thumbnail for this one. When I booted up Disney Plus, it was, this is the Punisher. And we kind of assumed maybe we'll get the Punisher in this one. Just leave that a surprise, like I didn't want to know right off the bat, like, oh, John Bernthal's back.
Yeah. By the way, spoilers. If you're this far,
that's right. I mean, it's just they put it out. Disney Plus put that out, right?
Yeah.
That's not on me for the Punisher thing.
Not at all.
Spoilers going forward, yes.
That I thought was weird, and then everyone. I was like a little late. We'll usually my wife and I will watch The Dozen before she goes to bed, and then I'll usually get Daredevil in if I have enough energy for it. Let's be honest, I'm old, and I saw people were just tweeting out, and I'm like, oh, we're just going willy nilly with this Punisher.
It's almost Game of Thrones, like it's not that level.
Yeah.
Not everyone on Twitter is talking about it, but the people that are into it are talking about it live. So be careful on Twitter that like Tuesday nights, if you don't watch it live, there are spoilers out like that. It's real quick.
You know what? I could live with that because I was going to say part of the thing with Daredevil, and again, this is because I work from home and have a fake job, is that I'm like, man, I wish this thing just did launch at like 3 a.m. overnight and I could just watch it, bang it out as soon as I drop the kids off at school, come home, watch it, get my notes in for the podcast. But at the same point, like I do like having event television. I was asking for them have it at night, and it just feels right. It just feels right. The MCU, and this was another thing I was going to put on social media, and I was like, I don't want to deal with the people who are just going to be angry no matter what. But like, there is a part of me that wants to give the MCU a little bit of a pass for the TV stuff because it was a new medium. It was after the biggest fucking moment that their universe may ever have. It was after it wrapped up a bunch of shit, and it was during COVID. There was a lot of shit that
there's new Disney leadership too that told them like make as much content as you possibly can. We have a new channel.
So if I'm trying to, So if I'm trying to be glass half full guy, like maybe this is a change. And again, Feige was fucking ash.
Cruising altitude, like you said, maybe we got past the turbulence.
Yes.
Maybe we're just all right, smoothing things out. Yeah, the seatbelt sign's coming off. Fingers crossed. We don't want to say
seatbelt sign's coming off. Oh, there's nothing that makes you feel better, especially if you're going through a little turbulence. And it's pilot says we're good.
It's like Bob, I'm gonna do burpees in the aisle. Yeah.
Turn that seatbelt light off. Let's go.
So we kicked the episode off with the White Tiger's niece coming, and she's got a badass name. It's her name in the comics as well, Angela Del Toro. As soon as I heard that, I was like, badass name. In the comics, she does take up the mantle of White Tiger. It seems like they could go that way in the show as well. She's asking to see his body. The amulet was taken off his body. We know that amulet gives you special powers. And Matt Murdock is kind of just like a comforting shoulder to cry on for her. He's like, you don't want to see the body. Like I promise. He takes her into the side room. This is just a perfect scene to let Charlie Cox cook a little bit and show that human side of Matt Murdock, why he's so likable. There's a lot of scenes like this in the original series where he just has this like great moral compass and he knows the right thing to say in a lot of the wrong moments or a lot of the bad moments in life. And I thought this was a good way to kick the show off.
That's it. Maybe that's just it. He's just like a good fucking dude too.
He's a good fucking dude.
Angela De
Catholic boy.
Angela De Toro. That's Angel of the Bull, right?
Angel of the Bull. Yep.
In Spanish, there. Interesting. And that's the thing. Like I can imagine, like if people were going to be mad about that, they're like, look at this woke thing. They're going to bring in his niece or daughter, or whatever, to be the White Tiger. It's like, this is what happens in the comic books, guys.
And again, this episode, like, it's a pretty woke episode. Not a lot of people saying it's woke, but the entire thing with like Matt Murdock represents Leroy Bradford in this episode. I mean, there's like a narrative on incarceration and stuff that it's pretty woke show. And I'm pretty surprised by that. But the writing and the acting and everything around it is so good that people are down for it.
And it's because I think people just stop being assholes with some of that.
I hope so. I feel like it's a good sign that like people are acting normal about this.
It's a good show. It's just a good show. So
yeah,
I'm feeling good about Daredevil. Turn that goddamn seatbelt light off. It's off. Bob, it's off. Oh, wait. Bing bong. You hear like the little bing bong too.
We get our look at Muse and his subway hideout. This new villain who has an all-white outfit, ski cap, bloody like bullseye eyes, almost like a bullet hole eye. And this freak does paintings with blood that he's draining out of victims. He's got this one lady over his shoulder. He's got this super creepy, foreboding presence in the show already. He's been teased with the graffiti and stuff. I like the way this character, in just a few appearances, quick appearances, and no dialogue really, other than we get the dialogue when he's out of costume. He feels like he's casting a shadow over the show, and it feels like he's coming. It's cool.
He's a fucking problem. And he almost feels like he belongs more in the Jagged Edge version of the Batman, right?
Yeah.
Like
I was going to say almost like a Paul Dano Riddler.
Yes. Like he goes into that world, I think, even better than this world. And that's the other thing, too, I was thinking of before the episode started. And it might come as early as next week, now that we got the Big P Man back. We were told violence and crazy, just, so bloody far, shit. It's not too gory. We had a guy get fucking hit by a train, and it wasn't like didn't feel like an Invincible or the Boys.
The episode 2 didn't, when he fights with the cops, that's when he fucking does the thing with the cop's elbow. But even the cop had a long sleeve shirt on. We just saw it fill with blood, but that was as gory as we got. And this I guess episode 1 is pretty gory. Just the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Throwing decks off the roof and shit. But yeah, you're right. It's like so far we haven't seen what's been promised. That's still coming.
And I'm sure it's coming down the road in spades to the point I'm going to be like, please, no more.
His new pet, yeah.
I don't like this guy Muse. I'm going to have probably a soliloquy about a certain other villain and what I like about him right now. This guy Muse, I don't get down with weird, creepy, and he's doing art with blood.
Paintings, yeah, real creepy, almost like 7 level, like the way they shot it. Real creepy.
This is hardcore horror movie shit that you sick fucks like you and Eddie would get down with. I don't get down with these kind of guys at all. I don't even like them on my screen. And when I heard of this guy, because I didn't read Daredevil, when I heard of Muse, I was like, oh, I don't want this guy. And now that he's here and he looks exactly like he did in the comic books, I am not happy. I want it on the record, anti-Muse. This guy, do not like him at all.
As I mentioned, Matt Murdock represents a man named Leroy Bradford in this episode. He stole some chips from a bodega, but he got what was the snack? You got the exact snack?
It was Fiddle Faddle.
Fiddle Faddle. Is that a real snack or
it's snack? Real. So you haven't had Fiddle Faddle. If you had Crunch and Munch.
Oh, it was popcorn, wasn't it?
It's like caramel popcorn. It's kind of like a Cracker Jack, and I'd say a poor man's Cracker Jack, but Cracker Jack has kind of become a poor man's Cracker Jack. It's caramel corn. If you're stealing Fiddle Faddle, man, you have bigger issues in life. If you're stealing Doritos, you're stealing some chips. That's the good shit right there. Stealing Fiddle Faddle's a cry for help more than anything. I was gonna ask if you're a Fiddle Faddle guy because I think it stinks.
I mean, I really like Cracker Jacks. I don't like eat them often, but I love like Cracker Jacks at a ball game.
Yes, I love a good Cracker Jack. The thing is, like a Cracker Jack, you could always complain about the prize. Like people complain about All-Star games. There used to be more peanuts in there, and they're cheaping out on us. Or the
people talk about it like they used to put gold in Cracker Jacks. They're like, the prizes back in my day. You don't even understand. They put fucking nanotech in them back in the day.
It's just there was no toys back then, so you got like an envelope with a piece of paper in it. Blank piece of paper, and people were like, oh man, what a sweet prize for my Cracker Jack. I can write a letter to my beloved Susan. It's like, no, they've always sucked. It's just the world is a lot better now. It's kind of like parades. Parades are the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But we had no other way to keep us entertained back then.
So they do this really well done like commentary on incarceration where Matt strikes a deal with flirting with this lawyer where he's like, talking about what she ate for breakfast that morning. And was like, oh yeah, it's a blind thing. He's just being super suave, like he's fucking
Latvian honey cake, I believe.
Yeah, it was Latvian, and I almost thought he was gonna say Latverian for a second. I did like that Leroy Bradford. I know we don't love Secret Invasion, but I liked when he was just being like, that wasn't me. And he's like, well, unfortunately, they have you on video. He's like, could it be a scroll? He's like, no. But the fact that he's bringing up scrolls, all right, the universe is starting to feel connected here. This is what we need for things to feel like one cohesive story is being told with these different characters in their different corners.
That line did more for scroll culture than all of Secret Invasion.
Honestly, it probably did. Probably got more viewers in this episode than the whole fucking series. I saw after the premiere of Born Again, the original series viewership spiked like by 153% or something. It went up.
Oh, wow.
And everyone's going back and watching the original, which is awesome. And it only like reaffirms, I feel like, the decision for them to not only bring it back, but then go do the whole creative overhaul to make it like the original series.
And shout out to whatever meeting happened. And I was reading that the actress who played Vanessa wasn't even available when they were originally shooting this because she had a show and then it got canceled. And it was during the writer's strike time and a lot of shit. Again, Feige was blipped when they greenlit that. Yeah. And now he came back in the time and then everything's fine now. Seatbelt lights are off.
And they have this good line with Leroy Bradford where he's like, they're spending 5 times more to imprison me than to feed me. And it kind of strikes a chord with Matt too. He realizes that this plea bargain or plea deal that he struck is like, yeah, maybe it's not the best thing. He sent another guy to prison or whatever. We get some couples therapy with Vanessa and Wilson Fisk. As you mentioned, Vanessa, I can't imagine the show without her. Like, I know the original series, we got seasons without her, but at this point, Vanessa and Wilson is such a vital part of Born Again that it would be crazy to not have her. We hear more about Adam, this man with great hands.
Adam.
As soon as she starts talking about the hands that he has, and MT on Heavy Spoilers did a good job pointing out how, she wanted the hands that create rather than the hands that destroy, the hands of Wilson Fisk, and the poetry of that and everything. Just a tough scene again for Wilson Fisk, although it does become clear here that maybe he didn't just let Adam cuck him and let him be. She had that line earlier where she was like, please don't kill him. Well, maybe she's got reason for that because it doesn't seem like he's just thriving after the confrontation that ended things.
Yeah, the hands that create those beautiful hands. And meanwhile, our boy Kingpin's hands are bloody knuckles because he's beating the fuck out of that guy's face and probably his hands, to be honest with you. I don't feel bad for the murderous crime lord that is also the mayor and probably full of corruption. But man, you don't ever want to hear your wife talk about some other guy's hands. That was tough, man.
I would rather talk about the dick.
Yeah,
talk about the dick before you talk about the hands.
Exactly.
The hands is more intimate. Like, sheesh, the hands? Don't bring up the hands.
And that's the first thing you think of too. And obviously the
dick. You're gonna not like that I'm bringing this up, but one of the first things I thought of when she started talking about the hands, it was like, oh, those Vicky Vale hands were big. Remember when we did the commentary for Batman with my brother? We just realized those Vicky Vale hands. She's got giant hands.
I got a tweet within the last year, and someone's like, I watched this movie. You guys ruined it for me. And a picture of Vicky Vale's man hands just blop right on the screen.
Oh, shit. That's funny. And we do find out later that, yes, Wilson Fisk has Adam chained up like Jesse from Breaking Bad. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was fucking Aaron Paul for a second.
Me too, dude.
The first scream, someone tweeted me this too. He was like doing an Aaron Paul impression. He like nailed the pitch of his voice.
I almost went on and searched, is Aaron Paul in Daredevil? And then
that would be fucked if he just had Jesse Pinkman chained up again.
With the extra hairy beard and everything. And I'm like, dude, I just had this guy in Invincible. I was so, my brain.
I'm glad we all thought the same thing there. That's crazy. That it was specifically before we even see him, when we hear the first scream, when we hear him say more like, you're a monster, whatever he says, he sounds a little less like Aaron Paul. But the first thing he says, it was like, oh my God, Aaron Paul's in the show.
That was the only thing I could think of for like a full minute, and I had the remote in my hand to pause, and then they zoomed in on his face. Oh, that's not Aaron Paul. I'm like, but why did they make that sound exactly? Did they take a literal fucking like sound clip from Breaking Bad when the
Yeah,
Nazis have him in their dungeon? Because we're talking that Aaron Paul, right?
totally.
In the
Yes.
dungeon by the Nazis. Yes, exactly. Did not like. I got huge Jesse Pinkman vibe. That's what I wrote in the notes. That fucked me up.
Is Michael Gandolfini going to become Adam's Jesse Plemons?
Ooh. Well, I think Gandolfini can go a lot of ways right now. And honestly, after the whole thing with BB, when it leaks and
He's on fucking ketamine. He's like, I was doing K. Like, jeez, holy shit.
and he basically is like, I will be rooting for you even if you fire me. That's a guy who that's the reason he doesn't get fired. He is as loyal as they come. Our boy Gandolfini is gonna do some dirty shit. It's gonna get bad. And I love it because I love Gandolfini. I'm happy for him. The character is going to be pretty solid. But man, I feel like I'm going to really hate the character in the core of my heart for whatever he does here because he's going to do some bad stuff to good people, I feel.
I thought he was really good in that scene too. The apology scene, like the confession when Fisk is fucking ready to blow a gasket, and he calms down when he hears the confession and the apology from Michael Gandolfini. I know he got a lot of shit for Many Saints of Newark, a movie he wasn't even really in that much, but I mean, the whole movie was kind of not put together for him to succeed. I think that was the hope, but it got horrible reviews across the board. I feel like a good script, good editing, good scenes like this, I think he's a good actor.
I think he's good. If he's not, people don't like him. That's fine. I'm rooting for him. I fucking like Gandolfini.
Oh, I feel like if you're not rooting for him, fuck you. Like you gotta be rooting for him at the very least.
If you're not a fucking Gandolfini stan, you fucking hate.
We gotta root for the.
You hate the Sopranos,
especially like show some respect to a late New Jersey legend. Like you take care of the family.
In this house, Michael Gandolfini is a hero.
Yeah. Also, the only other Fisk note I had on this episode, that We Built This City running bit in this episode was so fucking funny. The cut back and forth of the kids singing it and then him just getting more and more frustrated. And they had the line that went out on like discussing film and all those Twitters that they said they had to go back and re-record the kids singing We Built the City because it was too like on pitch the first time. They had to make sure it was off key.
And then the Latvian singing is like, yes. I gotta deal with this shit again. Now, was that his campaign song?
And it had to be. I don't think we heard it before, but it had to be based on them both choosing that. Maybe they had a line about that.
And I can imagine if you're a politician, this shit has probably happened to. Like, I'm sure Trump hears YMCA all the time,
constantly.
Right? So
yeah, he probably hates it by now.
It's the same kind of thing. And I loved it. Was like such a great. He's like, "Oh, great guys," and he just throws the coat on. He's like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we have our next number," and he's like, "It won't be necessary." Vanessa, get the car ready.
I got another name. That's a good name when a guy yells it. Karen in Goodfellas. That was another one that sticks in your brain.
Karen, tough draw for the Karens of the world. The 2000s just hijacked that name.
They had it. They were a fucking mob queen, and now they are just the angry person, calling the cops on people. Let me hear Vanessa from you again. You do a good Vanessa.
Vanessa. Is that kind of all right?
You have like the little it's like you feel the love at the end though too. You do it better than
Vanessa.
I can't do it.
But he's got a little bit of anger in his heart still, Vanessa.
Still the kingpin.
Don't talk about Adam's hands like that in front of me, Vanessa.
Talk about it.
I would rather you talk about his cock. It's 54 minutes in. I dropped the hard C, all right?
Yes.
Not the hardest of C's, but
That's what I didn't realize that's what I wanted when I asked you to say that. And then once like, that's why your brain asked Robbie to do that.
We got to get D'Onofrio in the basement.
I was listening to the podcast and at the 54-minute mark, you had to say the hot seat. I raised you better than that. Now Mama Fox.
No chance did Mama Fox make it 54 minutes. Just zero chance.
The seatbelt light is off, folks. We are having fun in the basement.
We got one more ad before we get into the big P, as you called him. We got to tell everyone about WWE 2K25 and Clem. The champ is here. That's right. The 2K24 championship from WrestleMania last year. Hopefully I'll be back this year to defend my championship because WWE 25 is out. It's back and it's fantastic. I've been doing the streams, been doing the showcase mode. You've been seeing how much fun I've been having with it. I've even been tweeting out my creator wrestlers, created myself. I created Liam Gallagher. I created Noel Gallagher, so Liam has someone to brawl with. It is available now on Steam, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation, bringing you the all-new mode, The Island, as well, which is like a mode where you walk around almost GTA style, like free roam mode. You walk up to merch stands. There's Nike stores. There's Jordan stores. You could go to like real stores. I know they did it for NBA 2K as well. They've got underground matches, intergender battles, more game-changing updates. Again, the new mode, The Island, is awesome. You could play that online. That is available exclusively on Xbox Series X and PS5, the next gen stuff. I love it, though. I genuinely, if I wasn't doing an ad, I would be telling you how much I love 2K25. Hopefully I'll play it with my brother, my nephew online, because they've got fun online modes as well. The archive in the back, so you can go into the WWE warehouse, which I toured with Brendan Walker, have matches back there, dive off the SmackDown fist, stuff like that. It's available now, 2K25, and keep an eye out for some WrestleMania content leading into the show of all shows, the granddaddy of them all.
I love the Robbie Fox, creator wrestler. And I like that you had to like thin him out a little bit, probably because
I did,
like,
yeah.
hey, bro, come on,
Out,
let's be honest here.
They told me to be honest. They said, all right, I did, was trying to give myself a little more credit, but they said, no, be honest.
Do you realize that there is a chance, albeit an extremely small one, that the Gallagher brothers could find themselves in that game, fight each other, and it causes a real life fight that ends?
Oh no! Don't say that. Don't say that. We got 107 days till the reunion.
You're counting, but who's counting? It's incredible.
Who's counting? All right. Now to end the episode, obviously we got to talk about the Punisher, the reunion with the Punisher. So Matt investigates the killing. He realizes the crooked cop, who again gave a good performance in this episode. He's been great this season. He was telling the truth because he's listening to the heartbeat as the crooked cop is telling him, I don't know anything about this. And his heartbeat's not getting faster. And that's always the tell for Matt. If the heartbeat gets faster, they're lying. His heartbeat stayed the same. He goes to the crime scene. He finds a bullet with the Punisher logo etched into the casing. He's like, all right, does some investigating. Seems like he knows where Punisher lives. Although the way it was shot and portrayed, he doesn't have dialogue about that. It almost seemed like he smelled a pie on a windowsill, and it just led, it's like it led him to the Punisher.
Smells like a dog. Blueberry.
Exactly. I was like, oh, is he just smelling something? Is this heightened sense or whatever? But they have this extremely intense and emotional scene where they reunite. He's calling him Red, which is what he called him in the original series, and that's his nickname for him. And he's confronting him about the guilt that he feels for not being there and saving Foggy, and he's making him say Foggy's name. It gets very intense and emotional very quick. It almost feels like something was missing in how quick the scene moves, but the performances from John Bernthal and Charlie Cox completely save it. I think they said this was supposed to be later in the series and they pushed it forward. So maybe it was just like the editing or something choppy about that. I thought this is a scene that was awesome though. And John Bernthal, holy fuck, he makes everything he's in that much better. He actually said he walked away from starring in the original version of this because he didn't like the character's direction. He said, I didn't see the version of Frank. What they wanted from Frank didn't really make sense to me, and I thought it would not appeal to the fans. That had to be a huge part of them doing the creative overhaul when John Bernthal was like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Shout out John Bernthal for not only his performance, but doing the work behind the scenes.
Dude, when they're going back and forth, I was just like, oh, fuck. We got Bernthal in the MCU now. It's officially here. And man, I got so happy. I'm just
9 years to the day since his debut, by the way. How crazy is that? To the day.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's funny you said the thing about the pie, because I was like, between that and I don't know, there was some of the other stuff where he's like investigating everything. I'm like, we're really putting he's blind, but his other senses are heightened to the extreme level. And I promise you guys, I am not nitpicking with this stuff. But like when like 7 things that will happen, I'm like, all right, I have to start wondering, like, this is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's not a nitpick, but it's like, you got to acknowledge like that we're taking some leaps here.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's a comic book show and they don't take that many leaps. It's a fucking grounded show for the most part, but it's probably something about the editing. I would assume it's something to do with the show getting like put back together, Frankenstein, and they do a great job with it. And the performances again, carry it to where it's still great, but you could tell it was a little Frankenstein.
Yes, and you said the edit. I was going to say just cut some of the stuff out, and I'll just fill in the blanks in my head, because when I see it, I was like, all right, just stop this, because this is all I see on the screen right now, and I'm starting to like have like
it was like a dog. He's like.
And at some point, like the logical part of my brain, which is not a very big part of my brain, as you guys know, at some point it's like, wait, what's going on right now? It's like, shut up, man. We're watching a comic book show. Just shut your face. This is not when you speak up. You don't speak up at all. So okay, that was it. And then when I see these guys going back and forth, these guys, and listen, I didn't watch the seasons with them. I didn't watch any of the seasons. These guys have some fucking issues, Bob. These guys have some
issues. They do.
Issues in the tissue.
They have some moral disagreements for sure. Punisher's like, I should fucking kill people that have wronged me. Daredevil's more, I think God should be the only one that takes life. They disagree a ton about the way they go about fighting crime for sure.
But they also have like demons in their brains, obviously from, you know, people have died and they're fighting crime and all this kind of stuff. But man, like those are two fractured individuals together.
Yeah. And I want to go back and watch the Punisher show now. I might do it this week. Lady Fox is still on a work trip. I might just crush like a season of it in one night or something, because people were pointing out, MT from Heavy Spoilers specifically pointed out, there's a lot of like circuits and green boards on Punisher's desk. And they said that might relate to his old friend Micro, I think his name is, who's his tech friend, played by Eben Moss Backrack, who will soon be the Thing. They're like, is he going to fucking make an appearance as his old Punisher character? I don't know. But everything about John Bernthal's The Punisher intrigues me. He's also doing that special presentation soon.
Wait a minute. Thing and Punisher are like boys?
Well, I don't think, maybe in the comics, but I'm saying like the guy that plays him, Eben Moss Backrack, is a different character.
Can't do that. We can't have, listen.
Yeah.
We can't do this. We can't have two guys from The Bear who are like pretty, like obviously Bernthal's character isn't like present in the modern day, but like you see them interacting. The fucking one of the best episodes is with Tina and, you know, their cousin, and they're going back and forth. I just cannot. Even if he's the Thing, I don't know. All right. I'm sorry for going off on a tangent, but again, we're blending stuff together, and that's a little too close to the third round.
Yeah, it is. It's starting to get close. Especially if like Jeremy Allen White fucking joins eventually, and he's playing another character.
Yeah, and then like the three of them are just hanging out. It's like
Tina's Elektra.
The Thing is, his first time we see him, he's talking about food in the goddamn trail. I'm like, no, listen, The Bear is enough of a big enough show that's under the goddamn Hulu Disney Plus umbrella. You have to separate those two. You cannot have again, the dumb part of my brain is like, why is cousin talking to what's the brother in the show's name again? R.I.P. in peace. Michael. Right?
Michael. Yeah. Let it rip.
Because I got Frank, and I fucking love Frank. He is a crazy motherfucker. He kind of has a little bit of Michael in him at some points when Michael is using and kind of
if Michael went down a different path.
Yes, right. Michael went down a very different path.
And then the episode ends with their conversation inspiring Matt to go back to the old me. And he opens up the Daredevil armory, and we get that awesome shot with the 5-6 Daredevil helmets in a row, different colors, different fucking schemes. Why does he need different colors? I don't know. I don't think it really matters much to him. Maybe the black suit, you know.
That's a good fair point. Fair question, Bob.
He's got, and I tweeted as a joke when I saw the initial thing going out. I was like, why does he need different colors? And a bunch of people were like, well, he's got braille on the textures of them so he could feel for different. And it's like, I get it, guys. I was making a blind joke.
Don't be a blindest, Bob. I'm
not being a blindest, but yeah, you can make a blind joke here and there.
That guy made the blind joke. The what's his name? The convict made the blind joke to him about seeing. You can't see anything. Leroy. I was like, hey, Leroy, settle down. The guy's trying to get you probation. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like, that was incredible. How he argued that down to 10. Again, I was like, I'm in on core dramas here. Just he's flirting with a cute chick, and he made it happen. I have to ask you this, Bob, because they talked about it in the beginning with our boy Gandolfini. They're talking about the recycling contracts and whatever.
Oh, and Red Hook?
Yeah, hey, Captain Planet over here. Do you know what Captain Planet is? And did you ever watch Captain Planet? I
do know what it is. I never watched it.
Okay.
But I'm very aware of like Captain Planet and the something
Planeteers, maybe.
Planeteers, it was him. He's a green guy. He's got like a Duke Nukem haircut.
Yep, green flat top. He was like a blue dude, and they had the rings. Fun show. Not making the people watch Napoleon Dynamite and A Few Good Men before you watch.
And again, fucking something is going on in Red Hook.
Powder Keg.
I don't know what's going on, but Powder Keg and Red Hook, because that again brought up. And it was nice to hear Gandolfini talking about like recycling plants and shit. It's like, fucking waste management. Hey.
Actually, yeah, we do have next season going to Brooklyn. Yeah, we're gonna get
a season in Jersey would be great.
Now,
what
I am very happy about is that we got teased with Punisher. We got Punisher. We've gotten like a little, like we've got everyone. We had Kingpin. He became mayor already. And the one thing we really haven't got a lot of is Daredevil in the costume. And I don't think anyone really has a problem with it right now, which goes to show just how good Charlie Cox and Matt.
I do think we're gonna, like, the next 2 episodes next week. This is gonna be the Daredevil beaten ass episodes. I think.
Hashtag back. This is hashtag back episode. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think this could be the time where you team up with Punisher. Maybe you take down the crooked cops or something, and then the last few episodes of the season can be where I think Bullseye is going to be brought back at some point, because there were shots in the trailer of him in the orange jumpsuit we haven't seen.
He's definitely
maybe you end with a little more Bullseye stuff. Maybe there's more stuff going on in Red Hook. You end with the Kingpin stuff with the gangs that Vanessa's also currently keeping the powder keg closed, but there's a powder keg there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm excited though. I'm excited for 2 episodes next week. I'm excited, just like you are, to have an MCU show to look forward to on Tuesday.
It's just so nice. Seatbelt signs off. The fact they said Bullseye, the fact that Punisher
he
said
was
Bullseye,
the first one to say it. They never said that in the original series either, I don't think.
Oh, really? So the fact that he said it though, that's why I'm like, oh, he's coming back. They're just they're helping, like they're starting the pick of the scab. Like there's like it's like the little end of the scab is up now. It's gonna get ripped off for sure. Did you think he was gonna say Foggy? Do you think he was gonna say the F word, or do you think I thought he was gonna make the whole scene without saying it? And then once he said it, it was like, all right, it's out in the air now.
I felt like you had to say it when he's like, say the name, say his name.
Say it.
Some people really, really think Foggy's gonna be in witness protection and survive at some point.
Because I think Death Truthers.
Well, I believe that is a comic storyline. I believe at some point Foggy like gets killed and then you find out he didn't. That's a very comics thing to happen. Mm-hmm. And in the original series, we did have resurrections. It got crazy a little bit. I am still of the mindset that Foggy will not be resurrected, but I do think they'll go back and show flashbacks of maybe what happened in the time between the original series and Born Again, because they said he'll be cast in season 2. I think it's in a flashback capacity.
Imagine if at the end of the season, the showrunner or the writer for Secret Invasion, the last episode of Secret Invasion, does the finale, and then Foggy comes out and he's in witness protection. He goes, "Hey, it's Foggy. I was born again." Credits roll, and then it's like
Looney Tunes like closes in on his head.
Motherfucker, I'm out. Feige fucking ruined this thing.
Ralph Boner's behind him too, just for no reason. That was Daredevil Born Again episode 4. That was Nerd News for the week of March 20th.
I got a hashtag.
You got a hashtag?
Bob, you nailed it. I've said it enough times. Hashtag seatbelt sign is off.
All right. Hashtag seatbelt sign is off. If you've made it to the end, we will be back next week. Hell, I might be fucking customer with car next week. I might be a famous guy next week. But we will see you then. Marvel Rival streams Tuesdays at 4, WWE streams Wednesdays at 4. And don't forget that May 4th stream is quickly approaching.
Hashtag Experience Busters. Hashtag Experience Busters. Hashtag Experience Busters.
That's right. Save our asses.